Ever since Homo sapiens made their African debut 200,000 years ago, mankind has developed writing, formed cities, come to understand our bodies, and we've even shot ourselves into space. But isn't it strange that most of this progression has occurred in the last 10,000 years? What were we doing for the other 190,000? Let's see if we can find out in our video on the missing pieces of humanity's past. At number 4, the language of Earth. This pie chart displays the world's language families by percentage of speakers today. As you can see, Indo-European takes the largest share, and the tree for this language family shows why. English, Hindi, Russian, Punjabi, Spanish, and thousands of other languages all developed from one single Proto-Indo-European language, which would have been spoken by everyone in the Indo-European region around 3500 BC. But while Pi is the most understood of the proto-languages, we still don't know what it sounded like or how it was written. Proto-languages exist for the world's entire major language families, which include Austronesian, Niger-Congo, and Sino-Tibetan. But a controversial theory suggests there may have been an earlier language which links every modern and ancient tongue that has ever been spoken. Italian linguist Alfredo Trombetti believes our world's universal language developed between 200,000 and 100,000 years ago. This language probably wasn't spoken, as humans only developed the ability for complex speech 50,000 years ago. But it may have consisted of clicks or other noises, as well as rudimentary sounds or runes in lieu of an alphabet. This language could have easily spread among the condensed human population before we left Africa, before morphing into new dialects as populations spread out. At 3, prehistoric cities. What we understand as human history only came to begin around 5,000 years ago, when writing was invented by the Sumerians, as this allowed us to document the wars we've fought, the art we've created, and the neato swear words we've come to invent. But we know that human beings settled in communities tens of thousands of years before that. So where were they? And what did they get up to? Göbekli Tepe is the oldest human town that we know of, having been built around a religious site around 12,000 years ago. However, we've seen evidence of a large group living in Jericho at this time, a Czech hamlet forming 25,000 years ago, and domesticated plants being harvested in the Middle East around that time as well. So where was the very first settlement, and what did it consist of? We will probably never know, but the earliest settlements of modern humans we've found so far are in Sydney, Perth, and Melbourne, where Aboriginal Australians made their home, until white people turned up anyway. But is there anything older? Have we found evidence of ancient structures which might have been built even further back in prehistory, structures that would hint at even older civilizations? Number 2. Ancient achievements. This is the Bosnian Pyramid, and carbon dating shows that if it was constructed by humans, it may have been built over 25,000 years ago. Nobody is quite sure whether or not it is a natural formation, but if it is the work of man, then you have to wonder what else we were capable of before recorded history. Another structure claimed to be man-made is Bimini Road, a series of underwater rock structures which date back 19,000 years. Advanced civilizations were only thought to have developed the ability to build things like this 5,000 years ago. So have we got history entirely wrong? Rockwall County in Texas is the site of yet another purported prehistoric structure, and this one might be as much as 400,000 years old. The formation consists of an ancient underground rock wall, and while experts are again divided as to its origins, Harvard architectural alumni John Lindsay firmly believes it was man-made. Lindsay teamed up with geologist James Shelton to investigate the wall, and the pair claim to have identified areas of deliberate architectural design, such as archways, windows, and portals. And if you want an even more fantastical claim, then take a look at Adam's Bridge, a chain of rock formations linking India and Sri Lanka that some think was built 1.7 million years ago. This claim is based on the Indian legend of King Rama, and the idea that it was built millions of years ago is clearly preposterous. However, it's not implausible that it could have been constructed maybe, let's say 100,000 or so years ago, with King Rama's legend in turn being based on a real bridge. Geologists have studied core samples from Adam's Bridge and detected specific layers of boulders, corals, and sands which look deliberately placed. So, is it possible that prehistoric civilizations may have developed advanced technology, which has since been lost to humanity? And at number 1, ancient technology. There have been many archaeological discoveries that indicate we humans developed certain technologies earlier than we currently think. And while some of them seem to stretch the boundaries of credibility, others may actually point to the formation of civilized human societies before human history was recorded. For example, there's a system of caves near China's Mount Beigong, which contains a 150,000-year-old plumbing system that leads to a nearby lake. The pipes have been analyzed and discovered to consist of 8% unidentified material, with some even showing radioactive properties. What were these pipes used for? And who built them? Another even more incredible discovery was made in Russia's Ural Mountains in 1992, when microscopic copper and tungsten spirals were found embedded within 300,000-year-old mineral deposits. These spirals look like something you would need nanotechnology to build, and we haven't even been able to identify a natural process capable of forming them. Another discovery made in the Southeast Asian islands, where the remains of a 42,000-year-old deep-sea fishing vessel was found sporting extremely advanced tech for its time. This may not sound exciting, but it implies that we've had the ability to sail long distances long before we thought possible, and certainly goes a long way to help explain colonization of that area of the globe. So, were humans capable of traversing the globe during the last glacial period? If they could sail 700 kilometers, why not 1,000? Or 2,000? Why not the Egyptians, the Romans, and other great civilizations as well? Sailing is claimed to have been discovered by our predecessors Homo erectus some 800,000 years ago, with seaworthy boats having been dated back to 45,000 years ago. So is it so unbelievable that the societies of prehistoric Earth may have been more connected than we realize? If so, they may have been able to share vast quantities of information and ideas. And perhaps this is how prehistoric civilizations became more advanced than we've ever given them credit for. But at some point in history, this progression was halted. Mankind regressed. And once more, we became isolated from each other. So why? And when did this happen? Why haven't we benefited from the ancient technology which may have been invented in the past? Well, we have a few theories and we'll discuss them in our bonus video, The Lost Knowledge, which you can watch on our Patreon page at patreon.com/strange mysteries. For a $2 a month pledge, which you can cancel at any time, you'll get to watch this, and indeed all of our bonus content which goes deeper and darker into every topic than YouTube allows. If you don't want to donate, then it's cool, we still love you. And we'll continue to provide the best content we can under YouTube's restrictions. As you'll see if you watch our recent video which expands on this topic to ask if Earth really did have technology in the past that's greater than today.